Bright Duty. Every student matters.
We move on to the next topic. Now we'll see the implication of colonial policies and institutions. So we saw that how with the British rule many changes took place. Now we'll look at how that changes impacted the lives of the people, how that change or construction of new buildings or establishment of railways or a growth of new cities, how that affected the people or how things were. Okay. So the first is municipalities. After 1858, now after the revolt of 1857, okay, in the year 1857, revolt of 1857 is the event that took place in this year, okay, that occurred in this year. Now after that event, many changes were introduced in the local bodies, not in the central body, but in the local body, at the lowest body, okay. And these changes were brought so that the Indians would feel included, so that they would feel happy, okay, they would not feel as if they are not included within the British administration, or they are not well taken care of by the British rule, okay, by the British government. Now when we look at Ripon, Lord Ripon, when he was the Governor General of India, so there would be one official who would be the governor, the main head, main official or officer who would look after the country, okay. So his post or his position was called Governor General. So when Lord Ripon was the Governor General, the head of India, then he established municipal committees. Now we see municipalities everywhere, right? So municipal committees were established in big cities like Bombay, Calcutta, Madras by Lord Ripon, okay? And in villages, district boards were set up. Okay, and local services or services like education, healthcare facilities, water supply, they were all the responsibility of the district boards. The district boards were now responsible for making sure that schools were made, wells were dug so that people can get water, etc. Okay, now the number of officers who worked in various departments, that was also increased by Lord Ripon. Okay. And the non-official, okay, they were who were not recruited, who were not selected by the government, the British government, they were elected by the people, they were chosen by the people, okay. And these elected people or representative of the people, they also became presidents of the local bodies, the municipalities, okay. But the non-officials who were elected by the people, they were very less in number, okay. The number of officials elected by the British government, they were more in number, and those elected, chosen by the Indian people for themselves, they were very less in number, okay. Why? Because number one reason is that the many non-official members were nominated by the government. It's because most of the people were chosen, despite having been chosen by the Indians, they were finally chosen by the government. The British government was in control of choosing the non-officials, okay. And second reason is because the elected members were elected by very few voters. Okay, the voters, the number of people electing the non-official, that number was very less, because not everybody had the right to vote, not everybody could vote, okay, and the people who could vote, they were very small in number, okay. The third reason is that because the government, the British government, had absolute power to suspend anyone from the local bodies, to remove them, okay, to fire them. The fourth reason is that all local institutions except those of Calcutta, Bombay and Madras worked more or less like a government department. So it was only in the bigger cities like Calcutta, Bombay, Madras that local institutes, the institutes where the members were Indians, that they worked properly. In other areas they were all controlled by the government and were not local enough. Alright. Now let's look at public works. Public works. Okay, public works are those which look after the welfare of the people. Now, William Bentinck, when William Bentinck was the Governor General, he also, like Lord Ripon, took several steps to improve the public facilities of the people, like schools, transport, etc. Okay, the first thing that he did was to improve the means of transport. Okay, the means of transport, road, etc. So he built a highway which is called the Grand Trunk Road, and this connected Delhi and Calcutta. Okay, and other roads were constructed between Bombay, Agra. So he built roads for connection, for better communication, for better movement from one place to another. And such movements also help in transportation of people, transportation of goods, etc. Okay. And in the northwest province of India, there was also need for irrigational canals, canals which brought water used for agriculture. Okay, and Lord Bentinck built many canals in that province. Okay, and with the development or with the establishment of canals, agricultural production obviously increased. That helped or aided in agriculture. Okay. And steamer service in the river Ganges was also introduced. Boats which could transport people and goods in the river Ganges also introduced. Now this was very helpful for trade. Okay, trade which took place both inside as well as outside. Okay, outside of our country. So the goods which were brought from outside were then taken by the boats to the villages on the other side of the river. The materials produced by the villages were brought and then sent it to the main city centers from where they were exported to foreign countries. Okay. Now the next public institution that we are going to look at is police. Lord Cornwallis, when he was Governor General, he brought reforms, he brought changes in the police system. Okay, earlier the zamindars, the landlords, okay, they were given power which allowed them to act as police, which means they could catch the criminals, they could punish the criminals, etc. Now a new police department was set up, so there was no need for zamindars to act as policemen. Okay. Lord Cornwallis also set up a district administration, and this district administration was under one person who was district magistrate. So district magistrate was the head of the district administration of a state or province. Okay. District was divided into several thanas, like how we have police thana, right? And district was divided into several thanas, and each thana was headed by a daroga, an official, okay, an officer. Now district superintendent was the chief of the district police. So the police system, all the policemen were under the district superintendent. In villages, watchmen were appointed and they had to carry out the duties of the superintendent, which superintendent did on a district level. But in a village level, the watchman did the same job. Okay. Now when Lord Curzon became the Governor General, then he appointed a commission, and their main task was to look at the police department and to prepare a report. Okay, how the police department was working, how it had improved, what were the works that it did, okay, etc. Now that commission, it came back to Lord Curzon and submitted a report, and that report also suggested or recommended various changes or reforms. Let us look at them. It said that the salary of a constable should be raised, okay, so that they can, the constables can have a decent living. Otherwise, the salary was too less. And the report said that training schools should be established for new recruits, for new policemen who are eager and interested to join and become a policeman. They also suggested that criminal investigation department CID should be established in every province, in province of Bengal, in province of Madras, in province of Bombay. And the provincial police should be increased. The number of police should be increased. Okay, these were the recommendations or suggestions. Now let's look at another public institution, which is railways. Now in India, the British government introduced railways in the year 1853. Okay, the first passenger train, or the train which carried passenger, the first passenger to carry the train, was inaugurated between Boribundar, Bombay and Thana. This was the line where the train ran, and this train carried passengers, people. Okay. Now, why did the British government set up railways? What was the need? There were reasons. Okay, let's look at them. Because railways made export of raw materials very easy. Okay, and this also encouraged trade. When you have goods that could be easily transported from one place to another, that means that facilitates or that improves trade, and that brings a lot of money. Okay. The second reason is that with railways, what could happen? External aggression. Or now railways connected places, right? Railways connected villages, railways connected other main towns too. So whenever there was some problem in certain towns, okay, say for example, in those towns there was a riot, some disturbance, people fighting, people attacking the police station, etc. Now, when such things happen, the British government could send some police forces, some policemen in the railway, and could easily reach that area and control the people there. Okay, so those were made possible only because of railways, because otherwise roads were not built, it was not connected. Okay, before the railways. Now today, Indian Railways operates 8,702 passenger trains. There are so many trains carrying so many people all across the country. Okay, it transports around 5 billion people annually every year across 27 states and 3 union territories. Okay, all the states are connected with each other, but Sikkim is the only one state which is not connected by the railways. The rest of the states are well connected by railways.